Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. I hope everyone's having a good day. And Britt, congratulations, you've claimed the crown of Furstendom. I suppose since this is Throwback Thursday, it is going to be the square 8-bit crown of Furstendom. Oh, the low, not polygons, pixels, the low pixel count. It looks so retro. But before we get started, I want to give a thank you and a shout out to some followers. Thank you, Diabetic Memer, Crafter Prime, and Alt Mode Execute for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Hope you have a good time. We're going to continue playing Super Metroid today. I hope we can beat it. We'll see. I don't know. We'll just keep playing. But yeah, such a beautiful crown. Can I get my crown in heaven to be 8-bit? I'm going to need to talk to God about that one. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Of course, I suppose Metroid is 16-bit, but you know. So yeah, we got to Meridia, which is the aquatic area. And looking at the map, there's a boss over on the right. And I know that this square up in the middle is good things. Yeah, that list of things to discuss with Trinity. We're going to have a long conversation. And I have a feeling I'm going to get a lot of it wrong. What do you mean there's nothing down here? How dare there be a dead end? Oh, what color was the meat mass? Invisalign. My favorite liturgical color. I feel like this room is hiding something, but I don't know what. Other than those little guys poking me in the feet. So, where else? Top right. If there is a door, I have a feeling it's invisible. Yeah, Okay, so I think we have to go back. I think we have to go back down and around. Aha, a door. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. I can't hurt these space pirates yet. I don't have the right equipment. Early Burkadoo. It's about readings, but not today's readings. I need a footnote simplified. Sure. I will do what I can. Okay, I think we went this way, but we didn't have the suit that lets us get through water easily. Do I have a Bible handy? Well, sort of. I mean, if you're asking about a footnote, I may not even have the same footnote. Yeah. Ow, ow. These children are being so rude. How helpful it is. You can give me the passage if I don't recognize it, then I can grab a Bible. I need space jump to get up there, I think. Okay. We're getting there. Luke 21:12-19 footnote says, before all this happens to Luke and his community, seventh, the signs of the end were described still lie in the future. Now dealing with the persecution of the disciples of Luke is pointing to the eschatological signs that have already been fulfilled. What mean? Okay, so I do actually know what that is referring to, even though I don't have a Bible handy. That's referring to, you know, not a sign of all of these will pass away before this generation passes away, if I remember correctly, something like that. Also, I don't know how I get through there. Generally, how to best describe this? Probably in a way better than this jumping. So in terms of this, they will seize and persecute you and hand you over. Oh, okay, so that too. A different passage, but same basic concept. There's kind of different understandings of the eschaton and what that means, the end times. And it can be a very quick assumption that the end times are, oh, it's going to be this great trial, tribulation, everything is terrible, everyone's going to suffer. And maybe that's true, but... And so in a way, it's a way of saying to the community that's like, okay, this may not be the end as we had expected. And also the reality that Christ, by his death and resurrection, is the eschaton and has already made it manifest and has shown us what it's like. So we look forward to that. So we kind of live in this already and not yet. Sometimes a term that gets used in theology is realized eschatology. Okay, that's the map data. We already got that. I feel like you're less far over my head, but still over my head. Can you either repeat or explain? I can do my best to repeat. I mean, obviously, I won't be able to repeat perfectly. It's a reminder. Luke is using the words of Christ to his community and to us by extension, but first and foremost, the times are going to sometimes be hard. That doesn't mean it's the end times. Do I need something else? I feel like I need something else to get through there, but I need wave beam. And with the end, sort of the ultimate end, it's already and not yet. Already in the sense that Christ has already risen from the dead. We already have seen both that God has conquered death and what our risen bodies will be like. That he gives to us. Along with that means that we live in light of the end times already. We live a certain way, a certain pattern. We are an eschatological people, not in a, oh, everything's doom and gloom, it's the end kind of way, but in a honest, genuine hope. That who we are to be in heaven is something we can already aspire to and live towards and be a sign of. So sometimes with the eschaton, it's a, well, maybe not quite that way. Sometimes it's, well, it's already happened, and sometimes it's, well, it's still coming. Explain was meant to say no. Say re-explain, but autocorrect said no. You follow? Okay, there you go. Okay, so we know that connects down that way. I feel like there's an invisible path I'm missing. Or, well, not invisible, but one that's just not on the map. Because if we go down that way... There's nothing down there. Send the Invisalign priest to find it. Yeah, Meep, it's about time you started pulling your weight. Come on. Get a job. Help me find things. Bad Roxy has redeemed a father joke. You know, I'm actually really disappointed in myself because I came up with one that I thought was genuinely pretty funny. And then I was like, no, I'll remember it, and I didn't write it down. it was... I'm actually, like, not upset, but I'm just like, oh, man. But anyway. So, Roxy, let's say you just got yourself a waterbed. First of all, I'm not sure you would, but you know what? More power to you. But do you know how you'd make a waterbed bouncy? You add spring water. You thought my disappointment was going to become a joke. It's had that build up, but no, that was just genuinely me just sharing. Invisalign priest. Ah! Oh, come on. Yep, I actually got it. There has to be something over here. This cannot just be a dead end. Related Burkadoo, the end of the passage says you'll be hated by all because of my name, but not a hair on your head. Is it specifically that we secure sanctity through our persecution? I'm confused on how a hair on our headline, because a few lines prior said they'll put you to death. Those seem contrary. Well, I think that's the point of seeing them in tension and the reminder of, you know, we may face bodily persecutions, but that doesn't mean that Christ has abandoned us. And there certainly can be sanctity through persecution. I mean, the martyrs are a thing for a reason, but it's not like it's something we seek. You'll be dead, but you will look fabulous. Okay, well, maybe not that. There is an invisible passage. Gonna restock on health here. So these are actually stacks of 5. Feel like that can't be all there is. And yet, maybe it is. You know how it's clear with this description? Yeah, it's fair. Huh. So I know to keep going in Brinstar, we need the wave theme. Secret tunnel. Hello. Just found that by accident. I have to fill in for your reflection writer for next Wednesday, so I'm trying to make sure I understand the gospel. That's fair. No, glad to help. And yeah, this time of year it gets really weird with some of the readings because it's very eschatological. But it's not a way we really think in modern America. I can play soccer. Well, the soccer ball appears to be able to hurt me. Looks like I found something. So how do I get into this maze? Can I take these readings and swap them out? Lol, we've got Revelation and this passage from Luke. No optional feast to pull from. This might be a reflect on the Psalm day if I have to write a good reflection. Hey, it's not a bad option. Also, the Psalms are underappreciated. In my Psalms class, we actually had to write an entire homily just on a Psalm. No! I'm gonna use a little... Wait, how am I supposed to get in there? Oh, excuse me. Aeltheats. I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly, but welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Hope you have a good time. Okay, so that's just reserve tank up there. Hey, you got white. Ow. So too late to just completely go back beyond this room. I have a feeling it will be. Yep. So there has to be a way out. Of course, now we have to go back through all of that again. But now we know where to go. Sort of. Because there's lots more of that room that we did not explore. Also, are you serious? I have to go all the way back to the entrance to Meridia. Because that gate was closed. Nope, wrong way. No, right way. You could do it on the Gospel Acclamation. There's a very niche choice. I support it. The collect is another niche choice. Yes, it is. And entirely a reasonable thing to preach on. As defined in the germ. Oh, come on. Or Osiris. Oh, I hear my bosses laugh. Can't do the colic test beyond a reading. Fair. It's like the wall jump, but much easier. Oop. No. No, that's not the jump I'm trying to do. Well, that works. Okay. We love all these dead-end rooms that I keep running into. Ah, I keep bunking my head there. You tease me, game. You tease and you mock me. Why are you hitting yourself? Can't argue with that one. Oh no, these Metroids. These Metroids we have at home. Okay. Aha! Speedy boots. Meep Master saying no. Shouldn't be. It says I was stuck. It only has a minute cooldown. I blame Twitch. How am I supposed to build up speed? Like, it's just barely not enough space to get enough speed. Aha. Make more room. That's how. Black or Invisalign? I'm pretty sure that's Invisalign because he does have some, like, green dots around him. I jumped way too high there. Come on, I just need one more hit. Or maybe a few more. Definitely a few more now that I have to use my missiles, but... Look at this, we're making progress! Running around at the speed of sound. No, wait. Wrong video game. No. Do 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 do. Those wall jumps are janky. Ain't no two ways around it. Ah! Go away, Metroids we have at home. What? What? Samus, that is not how you climb. Do what every kid wanted to do at the playground. Woo! Going over the top of the swings. Yeah. That's a tricky one. Because if you get stuck underneath the lip... Nope, I did not mean to use the super pistol there. That was a bit of a waste. But full energy before the boss is nice. These spikes are not hurting me. There's nothing suspicious about that. Spikes, but gentle. There we go. Ow. No, leave me alone. Weird eye door thing. Take out the turrets first, so they're not annoying us. It's the mama bug. Let's see if she will get closer. Oh, so close. Come on. It's okay. So you can actually electrocute this boss. If you use grappling while held on. It hurts you too, so it's dangerous, but you can do it. Rotada. Going to make mess tonight, but I still love to hear these. So today is the feast, well, memorial, but feast of the presentation of Mary in the temple, which is an interesting one because it's neither scriptural nor historical. But it's still an important concept that we still celebrate. Like, there is still truth to it. So the story was that Mary was taken to the temple as a small child, and which was not an uncommon practice. Like, there were temple maidens who worked there and would make the like the curtains in the temple. But it's really a way of reminding ourselves of the way that Mary is set apart for God, and we look to her as an example for that, and what it means for us to be a holy people for God. First recording of it shows up in Jerusalem in the 6th century. Although it shows up in the Proto-Evangelium of James. But it doesn't show up as a liturgical thing until the 6th century. And it doesn't show up in the West until the 11th century. Good demonstration of the domestic church, yep. So now we have space jump, which means we can keep jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. Although the timing's a little weird. It's not quite adult. Like, you can't just spam the jump button and hope it works. It's like just after she starts to fall before she goes back up. Hey, Brayherd. But this will allow us to navigate a lot easier and get to places we could not previously get to. So where am I in this? Okay, this is where I was trying to get to all along. This is perfect. We want that room to the top right. Yeah. Also, you can't space jump if you're not spinning. Ah! That was so rude. He barely touched me. I gotta say, I think Space Jump makes the wall jumps also a little easier. So it feels like it increases... It's a lot of time. Just keep spinning, just keep spinning, 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 spinning. Plasma beam, let's go. Now we can take out the space pirates. You may notice also that the triple laser is no longer active. You are kind of limited in certain combinations. All right, cool. Now we have the plasma laser. So I think we should go to the right and up to Criteria. And then we can work our way back down to Norfair. Because that's where we're going to find Ridley. That was the giant dragon thing we fought at the very beginning. We've got a score to settle. It stole the baby. So don't forget to ask our prayers for you. Appreciate it on Sunday running the fancy cameras in the cathedral for the live stream for a prayer service. Never done the cameras before. I was trained, retrained today. I feel okay about it, but still a little nervous. Yeah, it's a little bit of nervous. It's entirely okay. You're gonna do great though, and absolutely prayers for you. So I think this takes us on the other side of that. There was like that room with a pool of water. And no way for us to get over it. No, it brings us to the far end of the wrecked ship. Okay. And no way through for us. Never mind. We've got to go back through the other way. Alethea, if you're watching, I am sorry that I butchered your name so badly. I just realized that that's you. Lol, it is me. I'm so sorry. It took me way too long to piece that together. Because I was just thinking, it's like, man, that username, Aeltheats, it kind of has like Alethea in it. Oh, wait. You're stuffing envelopes and not watching, just listening. It's all good. I totally understand needing something on in the background while doing something like that. Where am I going? Tube. I forgot about the magic tube. Okay, I still need Wave Beam, I think, to finish the game, but maybe we'll find that. Okay, let's pop in here. Okay, that takes us to Norfair. That's where we want to go. That's perfect. Kind of want to check out what's the end of that long hallway there. Both of them. Let's just do a little bit of item gathering. Because we should be able to get both of those, especially with Space Jump. I love how ambient the music is. Like, it's so well designed. Needs elevator music for the tubes. Yeah. Why is my grappling hook not? Let go of me. No, why is everything bullying me here? Oh yeah, X-ray scope. That's helpful if it's your first time playing the game and you're looking for everything. Or you're me and you don't remember where anything is. Ow. Ow. I'm pressing... I wasn't actually pressing the jump button, I realized. I was pressing the wrong button. Okay, we made it out of there alive. Good enough. I'd give myself a B. B for perfect. Oh dear, we're not actually able to go this way. Because I don't have wave beam yet. So we've got to go up and around. Ah. It's like just barely not enough room to... get up to speed. Well, on the upside, I should be able to just jump up to here now. He said with great optimism. Thought there was a way in there. I know there's a way in there. This way down to Brinstar should be fine. Imbiak. Or my sunglasses out of reach. I can't make a I'm back Terminator joke. All that just to get to the other side of this door. Oh, whoops, I still had Super Palms active. But now we should be able to clear this room, because this is the one that required the right suit and the speed thing. So we can run through the water. That's maximum speed! And get an energy tank. Well, that's nice. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to have an energy tank. While we're here, actually, I should be able to space jump towards a door on that side. That's the exit door, so it's... Okay, that's a missile pack. So how do we break into that door? Maybe we don't on this side. So yeah, so I guess it's back into, Norfair. Keep exploring that way. Let's get some missiles while we're here. Once we have screw attack, we also have infinite attacks while jumping. But screw attack is optional, so I don't know if we'll find it. Because I don't remember where it is. Of course, I don't remember where most things are in this game at this point. As we have proven. You know, when I put this on the schedule, I was actually concerned that I wouldn't be able to make it last long enough. I was worried, like, oh, I'm gonna beat it in 2 streams and then, you know, be left with open time. So down and to the right, that's where Ridley is. You can see Ridley's icon at the bottom there. So we somewhere around there. So that's where there's like that. Oh, I know what that is. That's like that. If you remember, there was like the room full of lava. That we had to jump through, but because we were slowed down by the liquid physics of it, but now we have the gravity suit. Pride something something falls something something. I think my first time playing this, I had just binged, like, a couple speed runs. And so I just innately knew the best route and how to get everything. Even if I couldn't pull off the speedrunning tricks, I still knew the general stuff. Do we want down or do we want right? I don't remember. Let's try down first, since we're here. Stop using that. She chose down. She chose down. Wait, is down bad? Oh, I think we chose the right direction. Because this is the room I was thinking of. Look at that, we're no longer hurt by the lava. we can just move through it freely. Ridley has a giant statue of its head as the entrance to its base. Spinning through lava, my favorite pastime. I think I should say, I think you should pick safer pastimes, but, you know, if you keep doing it, you're fine. More power to you. Oh no, I don't have the thing to defeat these space pirates now. I keep getting better and they just keep sending in better. You guys got the zoomies though. Mom, Father Evan can spin through lava, why can't I? Children, if you're unable to decipher the difference between what I'm able to do as a human being and what I'm able to do as a video game, I think we've got bigger problems. And so this play is entirely blocked. Lava seahorse. I have no further commentary. I just wanted to say that. Oh, this lava hurts. Why does this lava hurt, but the other lava didn't? How am I supposed to know what lava to avoid? I have become bowling ball. No. I will have these rockets before this fight. Okay, now I can go fight whatever is down here. Oh, it's a Chozo statue. It's the gold one. Why? How are you dodging in the air? Did it just catch my super missile? It did! I never noticed that detail before. Oh my goodness. You're almost out of gold. We know you're near the end. Just please. You just came up short 2 socks? Sounds like a great opportunity to buy 2 new pairs of socks. Have to drop off your boxing gloves at Amazon return site because they got the wrong size. Aw, come on, Amazon. There was one in the machine. Where's the other? Probably between the drum and the body of the machine. That's typically where they actually get to. I know there's something up there. I can see it on the map. Oh, okay. We got screw attack. We do just get it. I thought it was an optional thing. Yeah, super missiles. That or in a sleeve. That too. Or a pant leg. Or in a pillowcase. I suppose if you have combined your loads, yes. Or stolen by a cat. Look at all these options we're coming up with. But I want my sock! Well, apparently so does the cat. Excuse me? Excuse me? Thank you. I was doing spin attack. My good pirate, sir. Although actually... Oh, no. What if the sock doesn't want to be found? Then I'd say we really should find the sock, because if it's achieved sentience, that's a problem. Come on. No. Samus. Well, time to restart that room. The shaking background does not make it easier to do the space jump timing, because I do a lot of my space jump timing visually. It's like where Samus is in her arc. I don't think there's ever a reasonable explanation other than the laundry machine is possessed by a malevolent consciousness that eats clothing. Oh, why do we have to describe it to be malevolent? Maybe it's just lonely. And it eats socks as a way of getting attention. It's just a hungry little guy. See, Brit gets it. Okay, don't have enough to get through all of that. Aha. Can spirits, good or bad, inhabit inanimate objects? I wouldn't think so. That is a great existential question. And not one... Well, I don't know about existential. Well, kind of. Metaphysical question for sure. I mean, certain evidence proves to one way. Okay, so upright is where we got speed suit. That whole area on the right is where we just came from. Ridley's down there. Well, I'm not about to tell the Holy Spirit where it can or cannot go. I guess towards that save point in the middle there is where I'm going to start moving. And clean up that room that's full unexplored squares. Consarn it. It's blocked by wave beams still. Must be another way around because we've been there. As horror stories do love the trope of possessed dolls. They're so utterly creepy. Okay, we've been to that area. So how did we get there? Because it's not... Oh, I see how we got there. We have to go up and around here. Hey. Well, there's a good spot here to refill our missiles. No, that's map data. I thought the M was missile. Oh, right, this is where we were trying to get to Crocomire last week. Okay, so up here. You know, getting up to anything interesting or fun this coming weekend? I'm going to be joining the Evacuation Day Parade with the Sons of the American Revolution. So that'll be fun. Let's see, Crocomire was down here, and I think we got everything. Hey, Beer Fox! How lost am I? I'm on a scale of like 1 to 10. Yes, my dude. Gonna visit some holiday markets. Nice. Those are up already? Wild. I don't think our holiday markets get built until after the parade, but... you know. Can't build the viewing stands and the market at the same place. Okay, there must be something down here in what is known as Lower Norfair that I've missed. Like where I found... where we just were. Hey, Hope. Good to see you. Halloween ended in thus it Crimus. I mean, fair. Hello? Battery depleted? I charged that thing. It's a good thing I have a backup controller. Okay, so if we go to the right, we wind up in a vertical room that just leads us into that whole exit sequence again. So maybe something to the left we missed. It feels so weird holding such a different controller now. Right, Golden Chozo. Golden Chozo's Arena. I have a thought. So there was a room up here. It's kind of that little nub just sticking off on the middle right. We saw a super bomb package or pickup there, but I ignored it. But I think the way we entered the room, there's another way still that we can go out of it. Well, I mean, liturgically speaking, you are correct, Spearfox, but I also happen to know where Bad Roxy lives and the culture there and go, yeah, it's Christmas now. So to get there... Returvin? What's a Returvin? Anyway, as soon as the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is over, I fully intend to start listening to Christmas music. And screw up my Spotify stats at the end of the year like I always do. I know it's return, but with a Roman numeral V, or Roman writing V. But I thought saying return was funny. Christmas the day after your husband's birthday until the day your baby is born. There you go. That is an way of doing it. Makes you wait to play music out loud. Has Taylor Swift ever put out a Christmas album? No Christmas things until after Thanksgiving. Hey, look, my family didn't put up the... See, this is the room I'm talking about. But it's not quite what I was hoping. My family had a rule. We didn't put up the Christmas decorations until the third Sunday of Advent. Your parish has been strictly serving vegan food after services for the past week. Hasn't had alcohol. I saw red vestments. You know Christmas is coming. I mean, Father David has a beard, but he's not exactly a big guy. So I don't think it's Santa you saw. Okay, so there wasn't anything else there. What am I missing? Like, I know there's a room with two... Is that area on the lower left that I have to get to and it connects through on the bottom? Guess we'll try that next. Yeah, it's so funny. We're preparing for the Christmas concert here in the parish, which is in like December 13th or 14th or something like that. So like all the trees are going up. And when I say all the trees, we bought about 40 trees last year. We bought more this year for this concert. It looks like the Black Forest in the church. Fortunately, it's a big church, so we can do it, but... But it does make it hard to get to the altar from the sacristy, not gonna lie. So yeah, I want to keep moving left because we have to go back down that loop. Because I want to get to that lower left. If you saw Metropolitan Decon in red, yeah, it'd be like, yep. This is Santa. Santa is presiding at hierarchical divine liturgy. Which is actually fitting because St. Nick was a bishop. Is, I suppose, given the theology of orders, but... Hey, I got purple meep. Just in time. So now down and to the left, okay. Give us Rose! It's pretty minor chance. I often walk past some areas on the way to church. Should I take the St. Nicholas approach interacting with Jehovah's Witnesses during the season? No. No. No, gonna say no. Can you add some white to purple meep? So he gives us Rose? Nope. Junie has drawn the meeps. I am not gonna edit them. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm thinking is there something in here? I don't think there is, but just get purple meep some white as a treat. I think he's perfectly happy as purple meep. I don't want Rose meep to get jealous. Yes, in my head now, canonically, each meep is a separate person. I do not have the points for a meep. I mean, tier 3 subs get the Rose meep morp. But I'm not happy with purple meep. Well, I don't think that's meep's problem. Meep's vacant stare proves that Meep does not care about anyone else. He's just happy to be there in 5. How did I get to the other side of that room? I don't know, but this is not the way to go. Okay, that's a dead end. Last meet mess. It's the Invisalign! What is that material cinder in the floor for? You mean the one I'm standing on? Or is it something else? So if there's something else, I'm guessing it's probably decoration. Like at the dead end. I think it was just dead end. I think it was just decoration because that hooks up to the other part of Lower Norfair. So I don't think there'd be a way through because that would kind of break the flow that they went with. Sure, we'll reload on about 50 energy. 52 to be precise. I think this is a dead end. Nope. It is a one way. Why is Squidward Tentacles afraid of Santa Claus anyway? Am I cooked or is it chat? Hold on. Nope, chat is cooked. Okay, so we're back down here. Let's re-explore the right-hand side. We didn't do that last time. Are you doing a build-up, or should I tell Father the answer? Oh no, I'm sure there is an answer, but... Anyway, how's everyone else's day going? These little orange orbs, they got the zoomies. That's right, there's this barrier. We can't actually get through it. I did not redeem father joke. Why am I getting a father joke? Unsubscribe father jokes? You have subscribed for more father jokes. Is it true that when the Theophilus chopped down a tree, he used the axe of the apostles? Maybe I should make a going offline image just so that I can turn to it in times like this. Okay, what would be a logical connection? Nothing there. What? Oh. I don't like the Joy-Con D-pad. It's too small. Okay, that's just a giant circle. So that's actually not bad to know. Oops. As a way to not have to do the whole loop every single time. I feel like there's something I'm missing, like a connection somewhere. Gonna hop off so you can finish work up? Alright. You have a good night and a good weekend. Probably gonna be wrapping up here fair quick ourselves. Because I don't want to do that lava escape sequence again. So I don't even know if that's where I'm supposed to be going at this point. Yeah, I am utterly lost. I do not know how to get to Ridley there. That is unfortunate, because I wanted to actually wrap this up today, because next week, being Thanksgiving, I may or may not stream. Probably won't, but maybe will. And then for December, for Throwback Thursday, we're doing our traditional Humongous Entertainment Games. So, unfortunately, we're just going to have to put Metroid on the shelf for a bit, which is unfortunate. Not what I'd like to do. So again, maybe something next week. Unlike Thursday or Friday, but no guarantees. And I'll look up where to fight, how to actually get to Ridley before that even happens. But we're going to wrap it up there. So thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today and with y'all this week. Hope everyone has a great weekend, getting ready for Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. Join us again on Monday for more Chrono Trigger for RPG Monday, more Victory at Hebron for Spirituality Tuesday, Midweek Minecraft on Wednesday, of course, and then I can guarantee that on Friday next week, so not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, I will be on Game of Faves for a fun episode. So go check that out. Go to Pete Tony's channel. Vote for me. Help me win. Shameless plug. But anyway, it's gonna be me, Blake, Webby Pumpkin, and then I forget the name of the fourth guy. He's a pretty new person to the scene. But it should be fun. So thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, shared, checked out the YouTube, checked out the Discord. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and let's see who's live to raid into. Gonna send you on over to Jate. He's a cool dude. Feel like we haven't rated him lately. If we have, please let me know. But in my brain, we haven't. So looks like he's doing some tech work. Can't quite tell. But anyway, raid call will just be Father Raid as usual. Hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, and God bless.
That's my take on it.